Good morning, all. Welcome to Children's Time, St. Paul's United Methodist Church. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great week coming up. But I want to spend a little bit of time with you today telling you a story about Tommy. Many of you may recognize this story, but I suspect some of you younger folks don't. There was a young boy named Tommy a number of years ago that was sent home from school with a note for mom to read. And when Tom gave the note to his mom, the mom started crying. And Tommy was wondering, what did he possibly do wrong? He was a good kid, but he didn't really like school. School teacher always kind of gave him a hard time. Anyway, so his mother told Tom, you know what? You did nothing wrong. The school is telling me that you're just so special that they really can't teach you anymore. They need to spend their time focused on other students because they have greater needs than yours. And from now on, you're not going to go to school. We will teach you here at home the best we can. So from that moment on, from like the second grade on up to the end of grade school, Tommy learned at home from his parents, did the best he could, and developed sort of like an ordinary child. And anyway, he progressed in this fashion to a point where he was pretty successful when it came to ideas and inventions. And it turned out he was so special, he ended up coming up with one of the greatest inventions of our time. Not only your time, but my time. He invented something that was amazing, that changed the course of how we live in America. Some of you may have heard the name Tommy or Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison is credited with inventing the light bulb and how power was transmitted from power stations to running your PlayStations, your computer, your hair dryer. None of that would have been possible without Tommy's invention. One day, not that many years ago, Mrs. Edison, Tommy's mom, passed away. And when Tom was helping clean out his mom's things for disposal or for archives, he came across that note from the school. When he opened it up, he was amazed at what it said. What it said was, "Dear Mrs. Edison, please note that Tommy may no longer come to school. He is not welcome. He is below average. We just can't spend the time on him because he's just not bright enough to go through our curriculum." In other words, to use a different kind of expression, the school felt he was too stupid to maintain his grade level, and they kicked him out of school. Not because he wasn't trying, but because they felt he didn't have what it took to go through the second, third, fourth, fifth, eighth grade. Well, here was Tommy, who developed one of the most amazing inventions of all time in his lifetime. And he was not only the most brilliant academically of our generation, but he was also the most commercially successful. He was very, very wealthy at the time of his death. The point here is his mom didn't believe what they said about Tommy. Tommy was led to believe he was special. He was brilliant. He could do anything. And I wanted to bring this story out about Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison was credited also by saying he did not invent the light bulb. What he found in life was he found out 999 ways not to create a light bulb. And what he meant by that was he tried and failed, but he never gave up. He never stopped believing in himself. Why? Because mom had told him he was special. He could do anything. And I offer this story primarily because some people refer to it as the power of positive thinking. When you set out to do a task in school, in the Scouts, whatever it is, maybe you're learning a new instrument, you got to believe in yourself. Like Thomas Edison, you got to be prepared to fail. If you're not failing, you're not trying. And it's all about, if you believe, and keep on plugging. It's kind of like the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. All of a sudden, I know I can. I know I can. And eventually, you will succeed. Now, does that apply to everything? Can you fly without wings? No, you can't. But if you do all you can and think it, then chances are you have a much better chance. Think about when you hang out with people. Who do you want to hang out with amongst your friends? The ones that are, this is terrible, I don't want to do this, no fun, it won't work, school's boring. Doesn't that get really on your nerves? As opposed to, hey, let's go to school, let's try something new. When you come home from school, mom and dad ask you, what did you learn today? What's one thing you learned? Do you think about the positive? Hey, you know what? I learned that I'll never buy the chicken chow mein at lunch. It might be something that's small too. Hey, you know what? I learned the multiplication tables for the 9 table. I don't know. Whatever it applies to you, it all makes sense. But just be positive. And today's lesson is by St. Paul. When he was addressing his audience, he was praising them. He said, greetings, shalom. He was very positive. He was encouraging them because they had done some great things as far as living the word of Christ. So I'll leave it to you to talk to your parents and listen to the service today and see if what I'm saying does not ring true. But if it doesn't, the point is live today. Live this week on a positive note. When you wake up in the morning, what's the new adventure today? What are you going to accomplish? It really does change your whole outlook. Now, I'm wearing this crazy helmet. Many of you may not have seen this before, but this is the kind of helmet they used to wear way back in the early 1900s. This is a football helmet. There was no face mask. This was my dad's helmet when he played high school football. My dad was built exactly like me, and he was a tough, smart guy. And somewhere along the line, he thought that to play football would be really cool. His football career was truly amazing. He played football for one day, one practice, realized this was not for him, and he said no. He quit. You know what? But he knew, he always knew, and his mom, my grandmother, always told him he would be successful. So football, he recognized it was just not for him. Whatever reason, maybe he got hit, maybe whatever. Wearing helmets like this, I can see why he didn't like playing football. What he did, though, was he really enjoyed the art and the science and the theory of flying. Back in those days, airplanes did not exist like they do today. There were airplanes, but they were like what they call biplanes. My dad loved flying so much, he started to ride his bicycle from the Lower East Side of Manhattan out to Long Island, where we live today, to Mitchell Field, which now Nassau Community College, Roosevelt Field is located. He would ride his bike just to watch the airplanes take off. He was that passionate, and nobody told him he couldn't fly. He ended up learning how to fly. He ended up teaching hundreds of World War II pilots how to fly fighter planes. And I'm just saying, nobody told him he couldn't. My grandmother, his mom, was always very supportive. Football wasn't his thing, and he recognized early on it just was not right. So he wore a helmet like this for one day. Somehow in those days they gave you the equipment. But the point is, I'm wearing this because I believe I'm not done learning yet. I can do anything once I set my sights on it. And I challenge each and every one of you, whatever task at hand exists today, whether it be Sunday or this week in school or maybe the rest of this year, through all the crazy things that are going on, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe what you can do? Listen, I'm going to end here. I wish you the best Sunday possible. I wish you a great week. Blessings to you, your family. Make it happen. What you think about, you bring about. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're going to be right. If you believe you can, things will happen correctly. If you think you can't, they'll never happen. Blessings on the journey. Love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.